And we're live. How you doing, sir? It's been a
Good.
minute.
It's been a minute, yeah. And
Been a
you,
minute for sure, man. How's life after high school?
it's chill for now. I have to make some college decisions, but it's good.
I've been thinking about that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally having this conversation last night with my wife because I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do the pod tomorrow, but and then we're like, has he made a decision about college? Like, what is happening
I'm
here?
almost there. I'm almost there. I think next
Almost
week I'll
there?
be I'll be sure.
Oh, all right, whatever, man.
We'll talk about
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that off the air.
Yeah.
But we got a little bit of catching up to do, you know. I you watched Toy Story 5 too, right? I
I did.
watched it.
I did. I saw all of them again.
I have seen all of them except four because I went to go see five with my son. It was his first movie theater experience. He was there with friends, other 4 5-year-olds, hanging out. And I was really nervous because I thought like, how is this guy going to sit still? But he did. He
He
loved
did.
it.
He's already a
Um,
cinephile.
yeah, already turning him into one. And the thing here's the fun fact of where I came from with this is that um, because it was somebody else's idea, it was another mom's idea to do this. She was like, "Okay, we'll all meet here at this place," and then that movie theater did not have it in English with subtitles.
Ah,
It was all dubbed in Portuguese. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll figure it out. But it I was able to follow it. It was fine,
nice.
and then he got so into the Toy Story lore that we started watching the other ones.
He'd never seen them before.
He had never seen them before because as parents, we were very hesitant because we kind of dove in really hardcore for a hot second there, where he was watching the Cars movies and the Planes movies, the Kung Fu Panda movies, and then we kind of saw how he would get irritated and agitated after watching movies, so we really pulled back a lot. And so now we're like dipping our toes back
Mm,
into watching movies. We
yeah.
have that routine down.
Maybe once a week.
Yeah. It's like no TV during the week. You're allowed like maybe 2 hours Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. Aside from that, you are outside the house, go run, climb trees, get dirty. That's basically his life, But did you watch the first four of them leading into five?
Yes, I saw because I like since I started getting really into movies like 5 years ago, I
Hmm.
have seen the first three many times as a kid. Those like I grew up with them, Pixar classics,
Yeah.
right? But I like they were never my favorite movies as a kid. Like I always loved them and I saw them repeatedly, but they weren't Ratatouille, they weren't Up, they weren't like Monsters Inc. But I like them, and
Mhm.
yeah, I wanted to revisit them and remember why I liked them before I saw the new one. And I hadn't seen four. I saw four for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think you sent me a ranking order, like where
Yes.
you have them. I think three was that number one for you.
Yeah.
Three, two.
Three is my favorite because like that one touched me the most. I think it's the perfect conclusion to that first trilogy. Right?
Mhm.
It could have been a trilogy, but money. But yeah, I think it's like the first half is just classic Toy Story, like adventure, a little bit of mystery, a lot of playfulness. That's
Mhm.
the base of these movies, the creativity and the wonder, the magic, right, of bringing them to life in the situations that they find themselves in. And then the second half is a prison break movie, and then a horror movie, and that climax is just like when Woody, like everyone is holding hands when they're about to be killed, and Woody doesn't close his eyes, and then he sees everyone with their eyes closed, and then he closes his eyes. That's like poetic even. And the final like 10 minutes are perfect. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I thought it was three is incredible.
Yeah.
At the same time, like as you were saying, like Prison Break movie, horror movie, and all of that. because my son started to watch it, but then when it got a little too intense,
Hmm.
you know, like we turned off the TV and then he wanted to go back and watch part two the next day.
Yeah.
So far that's his favorite one, even though there are some moments there that is a little too suspenseful for him. Like even the overture, like the video game
Yeah.
part of the beginning of part two, like once he sees Buzz crawling in the vents, he's like, skip this. I don't want to see this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then my wife and I, we finished watching three last night, literally. We haven't watched four yet. And yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like as they're the prison break, and then they get kind of caught right before they fall in the dumpster, kind of thing. Um, it was. I was like, this is way too intense for a toddler. I mean, maybe when he's like 10 or something,
Yeah.
so we can kind of like take it with a grain of salt, because even with part two at times, I would tell him because he's like, Daddy, I don't like this, skip this. I'm like, buddy, they're just toys. And then, he kind of holds on for like a half a second and then he's like, all right. And then we continue watching it. But I was very surprised because I watched the first Toy Story a long time ago. It didn't really connect with me.
Mhm.
I think it was more of a case of like, oh, this is impressive. They're making movies
Oh, I
like this.
remember you told me you weren't that big a fan of the Toy Stories.
I don't even remember if I saw the first one in its entirety back in the day. Because this came out in 1995. I was 14. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was impressive that this is the way that, this is how they can make movies now. And all right, cool. Um, but I think for me, anyways, I wasn't completely ready for, computer animated movies until oof, maybe Monsters Inc. That was probably when I was like, all right, I'm into this now.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Mhm.
And so far, my favorite of any of the Pixar movies is The Incredibles.
Yeah. Valid.
That's number one, and it's never going away.
It's great.
Although there's a lot of I relate to with part two. You know,
I
dad
love
taking
Incredibles.
care, dad taking care of Jack by himself, and like barely being, cognizant. I recognize that feeling. So here I am. I'm watching part five and not really knowing what to expect, but still respecting Pixar's ability to make good stories. Even though Buzz Lightyear was like weird, and Strange World, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's called Strange World. There's another one that came out that was also weird. Um, but I'm like, look, they
Strange World. It's not Pixar.
not okay. All
The
right.
it's with Jake Gyllenhaal. He does the one of the voices. Yeah.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so I'm like, we'll see. Let's see. You can never count out Pixar. So I watch it, and because I had never seen the previous ones, I just went with it, and I was just enjoying it. I didn't need to have watched the first four. I just really enjoyed it, and to me, I think what I loved the most was uh, how relevant the story was. Like toys, friends, imagination, as opposed to iPads and online communities and toxic friendships and that it I was like, wow, this is deep, well done. I was thoroughly impressed, and I love how everything fits. Every single thing fit, like with the beginning where you have like what, like 100 Buzz Lightyears, escaping the desert island, and then how are they gonna fold this in? And then, they do, and it's modern and it's updated, as spoilers. Okay, spoilers right off the bat. How they turn into drones. I just thought it was so well done. And you really did connect with the characters. They felt like real people, so I thought that was incredibly well done. And just like how technology also evolved over time, because like Jesse becomes friends, with those, very rudimentary kinds of video gamey type of toys that, what's her name? It's not Bonnie, it's the other girl.
Blaze.
Blaze. Yes, thank you. The Blaze's toys when she was a baby, basically. So I love how they folded that in. Unbeknownst to me, that plot wise, it's just one and two put together. It's like, oh, we have a rescue mission. Oh, there's a new toy. So there's they like a really great hodgepodge. Let's take one thing of here, one thing of there, mash them up together, sprinkle in the modern context, and away we go. What about you? What was your take?
I liked it too. I think like from what I've heard from people at least, I think I like it a little bit less than most. But I also like I think it's still great. I think like you were saying about the last few Pixar movies. Inside Out 2 was great. Sequel. Elio wasn't that great. Original movie. I haven't seen Hoppers, which people apparently really like. And then this comes out, and it's like the Toy Story movies have a perfect track record. There's not a bad movie. They're only great movies. I still really like this one. I think it's again playful, creative. The adventure is fun. It has a lot of heart. I think focusing on Jesse and Bullseye as the main characters was a great choice because with four, I know you haven't seen him, but Woody is the focus of that story, and it's really a Woody story. And this is a Jesse story, and makes sense. I think if they're planning to make this second trilogy, like until six, they can make a Woody movie, a Jesse movie, and maybe a Buzz movie, and then end them. You know, finally end them. But I think it works. I think it has heart, a lot of humor. I thought it was really funny, and like you said, it has something to say about like connection in a modern world through the perspective of a child. Like the scene where Bonnie cries at the car with her mom, asking why no one wants to be her friend. Like that must have hit you a little different, right? Because
Yeah, because it's like I didn't have to deal with the thing that Bonnie is dealing with making friends online and how that unfolds
and that's
in
the
a really
reality your
toxic
kid
way.
is growing up in, right?
Yeah, that's the kind he's gonna grow up in. And even though like we're really like holding off technology as long as possible, like it's a half joke when I tell people he's not getting a smartphone until he's 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like I want him to still I mean, like I said in the very beginning as we were talking about, it's like I want him to run outside and play and get dirty and come home. Like, this is gonna get a little bit personal for what this podcast is, but it's like it's connected, because I live this, in the sense of like during this break, we're outside like 6 hours a day, like 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours in the afternoon, and he's playing football the whole time. Like he's coming home and his face is just so much soot and dirt, and he's got two football uniforms, one of the Rio teams, Vasco, and
Mhm.
the other one of the Brazilian national team. The Vasco one has white shorts. They're not white anymore. He hasn't been able to wear them for like a week now, because it's like there's a process, to bring them back to life. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of, at least for me, because that's how I grew up, kind of. You know, back in my day, yes, I was running around, but I loved TV and I loved movies, so I there was maybe a more healthy balance in that respect. But right now it's just like go outside, go play. You know what I mean? Score a goal and run around screaming goal like you're a crazy person, which he absolutely does. Um, so like it hit me to see Bonnie responding like that because maybe not my son, but I've definitely seen some of your peers back when you were in high school
Yeah.
get all down, when something isn't going right, vis-a-vis online interactions, you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was just incredibly, I think the word is prescient.
Hmm.
I'm not sure really, but relevant for sure. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And the kids who were watching really did too.
Cool. I think my only complaints here that I have less complaints than the previous ones. That's why, spoiler for my ranking, this is my least favorite one.
Mhm.
Um, there are three main things. So every Toy Story movie, you get new characters, right? Even in
Mhm.
the first movie, which like everyone is a new character, you literally have a new toy, Buzz. Then in the second one, you have Bullseye, Jesse, and the Stinky Pete character.
Yeah,
And then in
prospect.
the third one, you have the Prospector. And then the
The
third one, you have the
Blasco.
Bear. You have Barbie. No, Barbie is in the second. Well, you have new characters,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
and
got
yeah,
Lotso, you got Ken,
Ken.
you got the
Yeah,
octopus,
it's kind of they're all villains, but they're new
yeah.
characters, right? They
Hmm.
play a big role. And then number four, you have my favorite, like one of my favorite characters, Forky, which I'll talk about. But and in this fifth one, you have three new characters, right? The toilet helper and the
Yeah, the
picture taker
phone.
and the GPS.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought those were so bland and so
Ah,
forgettable. Like, if they don't come back for the next one, I won't care.
yeah.
Because normally these new toys add something new, they bring a new dynamic or a fresh
Mhm.
perspective. And these were just like, they were really just comedic relief and plot devices. So I thought it was a little weak in that aspect. I also thought something I think you liked a lot more than me. The Buzz's storyline. I thought it was very gimmicky. Like it was only for jokes and to say,
Mhm.
"Oh, it connects and it's cool." It's cool and it does connect, but I thought it was a little too gimmicky.
Mhm.
And I thought the overall story and adventure was a little more scattered than the previous ones. Like they're also focused, especially the third one. You know, you have this clear mission they want to accomplish, and in this one, it's like too many characters, too many side plots, too many quips that lead a little bit nowhere. But like my main compliment I'll give this film is that there is like the thing I appreciate most in Pixar movies is that one big emotional punch, which like it's the big Jessie revelation about her past, which connects with something in the second one, which is your favorite. So I'm sure you love that,
Yeah.
and it works beautifully. It's like poetry. Like it's a full
Mhm.
circle moment for her character, and even for Bullseye. I think Bullseye is such a lovely character. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's cool that he's always there with her, and that he went through the same things she did. He just doesn't speak. You know.
Yeah. And I,
Yeah.
I really, I think because I know which the emotional punch you're talking about. To me, it was two punches. It was that one, and then finally, spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, when Blaze and Bonnie become friends.
Yes. Two.
Because it's the second time it's happening, right? Where they encounter each other. And then that first time, I'm like, even me, I'm like, come on, come on, come on, like,
Talk.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk. I was so invested in it. You know what I mean? And so when they finally do, and then the kids across the street come over to play, and I was like, it's just so heartwarming
Yeah.
and so satisfying. But because it's that first time when they see each other, you're thinking, please talk, come on, connect, let's do this, and then see what happens. It's like, no, not yet. It's like a perfect audience tease. I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah.
so well done.
Yeah. It was well done. Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right. So far, I haven't seen four yet, but my ranking, I will say, is two, three, five, and one.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
me, I'm pretty sure one is going to be at the bottom.
Yeah. One
I have a
is
feeling.
really good, but it's a little too simple.
Yeah, and I get it because it's the first movie of that kind, so they
Exactly. You have to
couldn't really
respect it.
know what to
Yeah.
do. And like even if you look at the runtime, it gets progressively longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
The first
first
one
one
is like
was
80
an
minutes.
hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost nothing. So it's like, okay, I get it. It's the first of its kind, et cetera, et cetera. You know, fun fact.
Mm.
Tim Allen was not the original choice for Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, who was it?
Billy Crystal, which does not work. I'm sorry,
No,
it
it doesn't.
doesn't.
It doesn't.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
Mike Wazowski.
Because Tim Allen has that authoritative sounding voice, which is perfect for Buzz.
Yeah, and for the
Um,
comedic moments too, right? He works so well with that like serious tone and the most even in this movie, which like I think
mhm.
Buzz is at his funniest here.
Yeah, yeah. And so, because I saw, I don't know if you ever were familiar with this show called Inside the Actor Studio.
No.
Okay. It's exactly that. The Actor Studio is like this very prestigious acting school that's in New York, and some of the greats are part of the Actor Studio. And they would host this series where they would interview actors about their process, their movies, etc. And uh, it was hosted by James Lipton, the late James Lipton, and he interviewed Billy Crystal, and he told Billy Crystal never knew this, and then so they showed him a clip. So one of the things that Pixar did, they rendered they took a piece of dialogue from a Billy Crystal movie and then created buzz around it,
Yeah.
saying those exact lines from a different movie. And it was funny, sure, but it's not Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Not as we know him.
Yeah. He's a staple for him. And I think Tom Hanks and Joan Cusack are also they are the
Joan
characters.
Cusack is amazing as
Yeah,
Jeff.
she's so
She's
good.
so great.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah.
All
My
right.
ranking is
Yeah.
in last place this one. Um then I have one, the first one, and then a bit of a leap for which I like. I know many people don't love for. My friend Daniel, Daniel, he
Yeah.
really doesn't like four. He hasn't seen it in a long time, but he doesn't like four. And even the rating on Letterboxd is like a 3.3,
Yeah.
and five is a 3.7. Uh, I loved it. I think it's very, very good. It's almost my number two. Then at number two, I have two, which is classic Pixar, like
Yes. So,
amazing. And at number one, I have three.
all right. All right. Cool. Cool. So I look forward to seeing four. I don't know if I'll see it tonight, but it'll probably be very soon.
Four is very reflective. Like it's the most different of the five,
Okay. All right. All
and
right.
it's the best looking one too.
Yeah, they do get progressively better, with the technology and all that.
Yeah, the first one is a little like plastic.
Turkey jerky.
I
Yeah,
saw
very
many
plastic.
videos about people talking about the advancements in animation for Pixar specifically. The first one, everything has the same surface. Like there's a dog. The dog is the same as a wall, which is the same as Woody, which is like a rug, and then Buzz is plastic. It's all the same. And then they progressively learn how to differentiate those textures
Mhm.
and yeah, and it gets very much better, especially in Monsters Inc., where they learn how to do fur with
Yeah.
Sully. And
Yeah.
from that point on, it's just perfect.
Okay. All right. All right. Now let's pivot. Let's talk
Yes.
about a movie that you have seen. I have not.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately have been scared off by some of the negativity that I've heard about it. But you saw Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts.
Do not be scared. Like, I get why many people don't like it. Because when I saw it, I thought, I cannot believe this is a movie that Steven Spielberg made.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't seem like his movie at all.
In what way?
Spielberg movies, I'm gonna generalize a little.
Sure.
They feel classical. They feel like old school filmmaking, even the modern ones. Like you get the Fablemans. It's a classic coming of age story he could have made in the 80s, and it would have been the same. Ready Player One, maybe sure he has new CGI technology, but it's a kind of adventure he could have made in the 80s, the 90s. It's all very classical. You know what to expect in terms of filmmaking and in terms of story beats. He is not a filmmaker known for taking as many risks as, say, Nolan, Scorsese, Villeneuve, uh, even Linklater. Like Linklater does his coming of age. He does a little bit of a crime movie with Hitman. He does a little bit of a chamber movie with Blue Moon. But Spielberg plays in multiple different genres, but he has his touch. And this movie, it's not like it doesn't have a touch. It seems like a different filmmaker's touch. The tone, that's the main thing I'm getting at. The tone is very strange. It's very weird. It jumps around from comedy, like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of comedy where the dialogue doesn't seem right. Like, why are you speaking like that? To the action set pieces, which may seem a little random and just thrown in there to have thrills, but I still think it works very cohesively. First off, the ambition. This is, as much as it doesn't feel like his movie, it's a very clear vision. You know what he's trying to get at. You know that even though you don't know where the journey is going, you feel safe. You feel like there's a path being made, being created along the way. You know, since the beginning they talk about truth and connection, and of course disclosing the secret alien information, and it works very well from the beginning. I think this ensemble is amazing. Josh O'Connor, Eve Hewson, and Coleman Domingo are all great. But Colin Firth, like, it's one of the best villain performances I've seen in a long time because he has a lot of gravitas in the way he speaks, in the way he carries himself. I think he is really, really great. Emily Blunt is, I think, my favorite actress, or my second favorite actress behind Emma Stone, but I think she's one of the best ever. And this might be her best, maybe behind A Quiet Place. But she plays with languages, with alien languages, with body language. She has to run around. She has to yell. She has to connect with people in a very specific way. I won't spoil, but if someone that's watching has seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And she is the perfect lead. Like, she's my favorite performance of the year so far, by far.
I mean,
And
look, I'm with you in the sense of like she's incredible. She's always delivers. She has that Meryl Streep quality of she just gives it everything she has. It's like her, Emma Stone, they're definitely up there as far as like never mailing it in. You never feel like they're just collecting a paycheck.
yeah, I think my trio is Emma Stone, Emily Blunt, and Anne Hathaway. Those are my three favorites, I think.
I'll replace Anne Hathaway with Jennifer Lawrence.
Ah, yes, I almost agree with that.
Yeah, I dig her stuff a lot, even though I didn't really like No Hard Feelings.
Ah, I like No
I
Hard
mean,
Feelings.
it
I
was
didn't like
fine,
Dynamite.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but my
But yeah,
third
that's
shout
yours.
out is someone that, like, I would say that people are not talking about her, but they are, because even people who don't like the movie shout out this actress. She's not an actress. She's a news reporter, and she only in real life, and she only appears in the third act as a news reporter. And the way she expresses complete, like, she is seeing information and trying to convey it to the public, and that shift, that relation she has to create between the audience she's talking to, the audience from the movie, and the image both her and we are seeing, is brilliant. It's one of the best portrayals of raw emotion I've seen in a long time, and I'm glad people are talking about her. Her name is Courtney Grace, and I've never heard about her because she isn't an actress. Yeah, I think thematically is where I really connect with this movie. It's ideas of faith, belief, empathy, mutualism, like with the alien species, right? They amount to the beauty of alien life, of course, as they disclose. I think it's not a spoiler to say the information is disclosed in Disclosure Day, but it's rare to see this in cinema nowadays. So many thematic through lines, amounting to one very beautiful moment. It has a lot of that awe and magic you want from a Spielberg movie in that sense. So in that sense, it does feel like Spielberg. But from a tonal perspective, it doesn't. And that clash I find interesting and it intrigues me. So I did really appreciate it. I did really like it. And again, the narrative, there are two main storylines, right? There's the Josh O'Connor one, which is connected to the Colin Firth one, and the Emily Blunt one. And it all comes together. But throughout the movie, the set pieces are insane. Like there's a chase sequence with Josh O'Connor, which is something that you expect from Christopher Nolan. You know, it's that level of filmmaking and camera movements and immersion into the sequence, which is a rare thing to see nowadays. Like an action set piece that you can admire. You know, you can talk about it and dissect where it is done that well.
Can you think of a before Disclosure Day, a recent Spielberg movie that had action in it, aside from maybe Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I guess Ready Player One, but it's all CGI.
Yeah, so it's a bit devoid of
Yeah,
emotion, or emotional investment in
yeah,
it, because, to me, the quintessential Spielberg chase sequence is the first Jurassic Park.
yeah.
I mean, talk about like excitement, dread, suspense, and just and we had a bunch of chase sequences like that, not just the one with the T-Rex, but also like when they're running away on foot, and then you have those other dinosaurs like running past them. By the way, shout out to Sam Neill, rest in peace, who passed away
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yes, he was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like little connection to be made there, So, but I always thought like that was something that I wish we could have gotten more from Spielberg, is like because he does action so well.
Yeah.
Like you look at all of the chase sequences in the Indiana Jones movies that he directed, even Crystal Skull, even though I'm not a big fan of that movie, but you can't deny, what he was able to do with those moments, so if even though I'm a little less hesitant now, you kind of sold me a little bit more
Yeah.
on watching Disclosure Day, but in watching the trailer and just like the car bursting out of the house, I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm down with like a great Spielberg action set piece.
And that moment in the trailer, that's the beginning of the sequence. It gets more crazy than that.
Oh wow. All
Yeah.
right.
And just final thoughts, I think the third act is like an explosion of truth and
Mm.
and communication, and there's a lot of that hope in humanity that you get from a lot of other Spielberg movies. You know, he's a very optimistic filmmaker. You get E.T., you get even Schindler's List, which looks at the beauty of the that man's actions. You know, he's a very optimistic filmmaker. I think even when talking about the future and when talking about alien life and science fiction, it's wonderful. There's some imagery which I think it's unforgettable. As I saw that in the theater, I was like, this is something that in 30 years, when someone talks to me about alien and sci-fi and everything, these images are what I will be remembered, because it's truly like it's footage from the like the movie itself. It's literally footage from the disclosing information, and it's incredible. It connected with me as someone who loves sci-fi, who loves aliens, who has the same interest as Spielberg does in this subject matter, and I'm sure many people do as well. But again, I do get why people wouldn't connect as much, because the pathway to this third act is clunky, it's weird. They go through many different set pieces. There are many different technologies at play, and even stuff that you might say this is not real, but it makes sense. The movie explains it. You just have to, I guess, choose to believe, you know. And yeah, I think this is basically why I love sci-fi so much. The questions it poses, the answers we might never get, both as individuals in our lifetimes and as a species. As human beings, I think this is why sci-fi is created. And seeing a type of sci-fi movie that I have never seen before from such a filmmaker, just I think it's wonderful. I give it a 4.5 out of 5, 9 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah, and Toy Story 5, I forgot to say, give it a 7, 3.5.
all right, bold statement. 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
For
four and a
something
half.
that's 4.5 out
Yeah,
of 5 for something that's like not been given a lot of grace.
yeah, it's a 3.1 on Letterboxd, which, like, come on.
All right, well, that lends us nicely into the next part of this conversation because not only did you watch Disclosure Day, you've been watching a lot of other Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
You have your letterbox open?
Sorry.
You have your letterbox
I
open right
do. I
now.
keep opening up the links and the list.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So which Spielberg movies have you seen?
I have seen 15.
15.
It's not a lot.
He's got to have at least 40 now, right?
Let me see how many he does here because they count every single thing he's ever done. He has 43.
43. Okay, okay. Good guess.
43.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just run through from 15 to 5, maybe, and then
Sure.
we can talk about maybe the top 5 a little bit more.
Well, just run through the list of all the ones you've seen, and then afterwards we'll dissect some.
Do I rank them from least favorite to favorite, or just rank?
Dealer choice.
I'll talk about like least favorite to favorite, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
So 15, I have West Side Story from 2021. 14, I have Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones. 13, and this is where my hot takes begin because my Spielberg list is very strange. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then at 12, I have the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. I grew up with this movie.
Okay.
At 11, a first time watch a few weeks ago, Jaws. 10, Jurassic Park. 9, Saving Private Ryan. 8, I have Catch Me If You Can. 7, I have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which I adore. 6, Ready Player One, which this might be my hottest take. Maybe not. 5, my favorite Indiana Jones by a good margin, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. 4, I have also a first time watch a few weeks ago, E.T. Number 3, I have Disclosure Day. And then a bit of a leap. These two are some of my favorite movies ever. Number 2, I have Schindler's List. And my number 1, which I told you is a bit of a unpopular number 1, The Fablemans.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's just the ranking of the ones you've seen.
Of the ones I've seen, yeah.
Okay. So I got 2 recommendations that to me are absolutely essential for a Spielberg filmography. First, I'm going to say is Munich.
I've heard that
From
one is amazing.
2006, I believe.
Mm.
That movie is whoa. That movie is intense, and it's also a remake. There was I think it was a made-for-TV movie in the early '80s called The Sword of Gideon, but it's the exact same thing because it's based on a true story. And the other one, I think, is it? I don't know. I haven't really sat down and thought about if it's my favorite of all time Spielberg movie, but it's definitely in the conversation, and that's Minority Report
I've heard that one is really
with
great.
Tom Cruise.
The ones
Yeah.
I've heard the best are those 2 and Close Encounters.
I've never seen Close Encounters.
Me too.
I've never seen. I don't really, especially after hearing how he would adjust it. I'm not really sure I want to watch it. So I'll just talk about it so it's not so wrapped in mystery. So at the end, Richard Dreyfuss's character, who's the one that's like obsessed with the aliens, he goes off with the aliens.
No.
Yeah, he goes off with them, and then he says, and then Spielberg says that he was a young man and he thought that would be like a great ending, but now as a father, because Richard Dreyfuss's character is a father. It's like, as a father, I don't know how he would make that decision. He would not have gone off with the aliens if he himself had been a father at the time. Because you got to remember, it was what? Jaws, Close Encounters, and I think one more big 1970s movie that he did.
See.
But it's definitely those two are definitely the biggest ones that he did in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so it's like, once I remember hearing him do that, give that take on his movie, I'm like, I'm not really sure. Because also Spielberg is one of these guys that there's such a level of excellence and competencies when it comes to his movies and how he makes and directs movies, that it's like, oh, it's gonna be great anyway. So you kind of take it for granted a little bit, which is why, like, my favorite era of Spielberg is the early 2000s. Because that's when he starts to like take a bit more risk and really try and explore big ideas.
Yeah.
in his movie.
So early 2000s is AI, Minority Report.
I don't count AI, to be very honest.
Okay.
Because that was actually a Kubrick movie.
Yeah, it's a Kubrick movie, right? He got
that
guide.
it's like, look, I did all this work and I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. And then Spielberg directed it competently, but I don't feel like it's his movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Catch
although Minority Report, I think War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, Munich, Crystal Skull, Tintin, Warhorse, then you'll get to the 2010s.
Yeah. So like, I don't care about Tintin. I don't care about Warhorse.
But those other 3-4 movies.
I like the Terminal. Terminal is fun. It's light. At the same time, there's, of course, Spielberg does what he does, and he just has to explore familial themes, because there's that moment where, oh man, what was it again? I forget what Tom Hanks' character does, but when Catherine Zeta-Jones, I believe that's his co-star in that movie, when she asks him, because he does something for his father.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, why did you do that? And then he says, well, because I think maybe he would do it for me. So he hits those parental emotional notes.
Yeah.
But I love the bigger ideas of Minority Report. It's one of those movies, man, when did I talk about it? I would talk about it in class sometimes. Have you seen Minority Report?
I haven't.
No, right?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
I know it's about a technology.
Okay, it's about a department in the police force that arrests people before they commit the crime.
Yeah, I've heard
So pre-crime, as they call it. And so there's a lot of philosophical issues there, like, no, they're gonna do it, but they haven't done anything yet. But they're going to, but they haven't. So and then the technology of how that comes to be is what is the main question throughout the movie. But again, another great chase sequences in there, foot races. You got some hovercrafts, you can say. Really intense, suspenseful moments when Tom Cruise's character almost gets caught, in one particular sequence. And just the look of the movie as well. It's just like the color grading, how the images of the visions are expressed. Great stuff, And then Munich, of course, which now I guess if people go watch it, it's like more of a lightning rod of a movie because there's so much politics involved in it now. And that was the first time that Spielberg got into politics at all. And so it was like, ooh, what's he gonna do? But he does give each side their due. You know what I mean? Like there's do you know what Munich is about?
No.
Okay, so real quick, in 1972, there were the Olympics in Munich, Germany. A Palestinian terrorist organization sneaks its way onto the Olympic Village where the athletes are and takes the Israeli athletes hostage. This is history, so I'm not
Mhm.
spoiling anything. All of the athletes die. Well, one escaped early on as it's happening, and they go over. He does that in the movie. One escapes. I think there were uh 12 in total. One escapes. All the other ones died or killed in this thing that happened. Okay, what does Israel do in response? They put together a team to hunt down everyone responsible for planning and executing it
Mhm.
to kill them.
Yeah. Wow, that's a
And
cool premise.
yeah, and so and it's based off a book called Vengeance, which I think is written by one of the operatives that were involved. And so that's the movie. But there are a lot of moral ambiguities, which so it's like moral ambiguities that are explored, some political issues as well. There's an interesting moment where so Eric Bana is in it. It's
Yeah.
and he is he's the main character. He's these agents, these Israeli agents that are going on. Daniel Craig
Yeah.
before James Bond, I think it was the same year as James Bond though.
Geoffrey Rush too.
Yeah, Jeffrey
Yeah.
Rush is in there. His role is very small though, but it's very funny. It's
Okay.
very, very funny. Killian, no, Syrian Hines. That's his
Yeah.
great, but just really, really, really great stuff, And in the end, you're left like because the character that Eric Bana plays, by the end of it, he just feels like, did we do anything really? Was justice really served? And so you're also, as an audience member, left with that kind of gray, almost empty feeling.
Mhm.
Um, and it's done in a very Spielberg-esque way where a lot of care is taken to like the emotional turmoil that the characters have gone through, like the paranoia and the guilt and the uncertainty, but also like the anger and the fury, like I'm not going to say what the line is, but um, Daniel Craig delivers one of the cruelest and coldest line when it's specifically in that subject matter, and when you watch it, you'll know exactly which line I mean that he says, as the whole crew is kind of arguing about like, should they be doing this? Um, but it's like, it's very, very suspenseful. It's very, also again, something that, even though this came out 20 years ago, you can still see how the after effects, are still playing out in real time.
Mhm.
So I think it's like the ballsiest movie that he's ever made.
Yeah.
And a great script too. The script was written by Tony Kushner. Have you ever heard of this guy before?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. He also wrote the script for Lincoln.
Uh,
And before that, he was more of a playwright. He did this play that HBO turned into like a very long two-part movie called Angels in America. But he's just incredible script writer, the dialogue, his word choice. He's really great. I wish he would do more, but I guess he doesn't have to with what he's already done.
yeah.
But yeah, and then Catch Me If You Can. It's like very light, very fun, but also has like a morose quality to it. There's like a sadness to it,
Yeah.
which I still really like. And I think that was is that the only movie he did with Leonardo DiCaprio? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a lot with Tom Hanks. That's the only one he did with DiCaprio.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is the one that he works with over and over again.
Yeah.
Which Tom Hanks in that movie has a great Boston accent.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he plays Boston FBI guy.
Ah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but the accent is just pitch perfect. It's so Boston. He's not hand ratty, it's hand ratty.
Yeah, right.
I'm here at the car. it's the type of delivery, really, really, really well done.
Yeah. Have you seen Amistad?
Amistad, yes,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
intense. That's an
our
intense one.
Yeah, BSS teacher showed it to us as
Yeah.
a for slave subject.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another great cast.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey,
Matthew McConaughey, Anthony Hopkins.
Morgan Freeman, and Jaimin Hansu.
Yeah, which I think is one of those another egregious decisions from the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. Because I'm like, how did Jaimin Hansu not get a nomination for Best Actor? It was just he did such an amazing and intense job. It's like,
Mhm.
come on now.
Yeah.
So I'm still salty about some of those snubs, including that one.
Have you seen The Fablemans?
I have not. I have not. I think after Crystal Skull and Ready Player One, I kind of checked out a bit
Yeah.
of
You haven't seen West Side Story too?
no, I haven't seen
Yeah.
West Side Story. Um, Not really sure if I'm keen on watching it because Rachel Zegler has been amazing at making herself unlikable, even though
Yeah.
she is an amazing, amazing singer.
And she's a great actress. Have you seen The Hunger Games she's in?
I did. I did
She's
see the
great in
Hunger.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she's got chops.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean? She's got
and
skills, but just not maybe social skills.
one of my least favorite Oscar wins ever is Ariana DeBose as supporting actress for West Side Story. I think it's one of the most like,
I didn't even know that
oh,
happened.
like it's so. I'm not gonna say it's a bad performance, but it's by far the least best performance of this movie.
And
I,
who was nominated with her? You said she won?
I don't remember. Yeah, she won in 2020. The movie's from 2021, so she won in 22. It's
So can
just
you look that up real quick? I
yeah.
want to see who her peers were.
Best supporting actress nominees
So
in
I'm also like on my TikTok feed right now. There's this account. I can't remember the name of the account, but it's a highlight reel of like, okay, best supporting actors winners
yeah,
from 2000 to 2010 or something like
yeah.
that.
And then there are many videos like that where the song "Way Down We Go" plays in the background. So the other nominees were Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Anjanou Alice Taylor for King Richard, and Judi Dench for Belfast. I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen none of them, but I love Kirsten Dunst. She's one of my favorite actresses. So whatever.
Somebody from King Richard?
Yeah, Anjanou Alice Taylor. I think she's the
Okay,
mom.
so this was the Oscar slap year.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Okay, no wonder nobody remembers anything else from that one.
Yeah.
All right. What's on your list coming up? Because we got a few more minutes left before we wrap this up. What's on the to watch list?
I've like right now I put a hold on the to watch list because the Odyssey's coming out this week.
So
So I am rewatching a few Nolan. I've seen Oppenheimer yesterday
okay.
again, which it just like increased for me. And today I think I'm watching Tenet, which I already love and I hope I love even more. But from my list, the next few would be. Let me find it here. Yeah, it would be. Wait. Yeah. First Man. Have you seen it?
Man, I have seen it.
Yeah, Damon Chazelle.
That's it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good, really ambitious. And there's a thing I noticed. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. I want you to like try and figure it out. But there's a way in which there's a technical decision that Damon makes of how he films in the beginning, like the first almost like I want to say like 40 minutes, and then it changes.
Okay.
You
I'll
know,
send you.
I don't
I'll
mean like
text you.
color. I don't mean like color grading or set
Yeah.
pieces or anything like that. But there's a very obvious way in which he is filming the movie.
Okay.
You know?
I have a guess, but I'll text you while I'm watching to see if I'm right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, you get it.
Hmm.
You get why he's doing it, and then you're like, okay. And then once it switches up, you're like, thank God. I couldn't have taken more than that, but I understand why you did that. That was my
Yeah.
feeling.
And
Um,
something I've like I don't know if you've seen it, but one of my favorite shows of all time is The Bear. And the final season came out, I think, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and I just chose to rewatch the entire show. So I haven't seen movies really for the past 2 weeks because I've been grinding The Bear, and it really is like one of those mythological shows for me. I
I,
love the lore. I love these characters. I love the setting. I love how it's constructed and put together. It's one of the best television series ever, and I just finished rewatching up until season 4, and the last season is season 5. So I'll watch season 5 after the Odyssey.
all right, cool. For me on my watch list is like very day to day. And so I'm gonna go with Toy Story 4. Let me just
Yeah,
finish that
yeah.
that Odyssey for
Let me know
now.
what you think.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, for
like
sure,
it.
for sure. And there's a part of me I've been wanting to go back and watch The Rock.
The
Do you know the what?
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, no, 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 no.
The
The
Rock.
Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery from 1996, I want to say.
Let me see. The
It's Michael Bay's second movie.
Yeah, found it.
It's definitely, in my eyes, is definitely Michael Bay's best movie.
Sean Connery, Nick Cage, Ed Harris.
Yeah, it's peak 90s, but has a timeless quality in it. And I think I've talked about this guy before, Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin was a young buck. Be- Yeah, he's not the credited screenwriter.
Okay.
He did some script doctoring.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Aaron Sorkin, if you're obsessed with him the way I am, I can pick out the scenes that I know for sure that he rewrote.
The ones with the best banter, maybe.
Yeah, 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 or there's a specific rhythm to the way
Yeah.
the dialogue is delivered. And I'm like, you did that, you did that, you did that.
What year did you guess it came out?
96?
Exactly. And what
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you think
But I
the
thought in the
rating
movie
is?
theater. That was the year for me.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the movie theater every single weekend that
Ah, yeah,
year,
yeah.
that summer.
That time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Mission Impossible 1. It was The Rock. It was
It's
this
popular
other,
from '96.
yeah, the summer movies. I was there every
There
single.
was Fargo,
Mhm.
Scream,
I
Transformers.
think Independence Day was 96. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
There was this other weird
Twister,
movie.
Twister.
Twister, I didn't watch. I
Ah,
wasn't too keen on watching Twister.
Jerry
But
Maguire, Crash, Primal Fear. Yeah.
it was a great year, man. 96.
From from dusk till dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
what do you think the rating for The Rock is from 0 to 5 in Letterboxd?
0 to 5. Oh, definitely 5 out of 5.
3.6.
Oh, I'm talking about my rating. Screw
Ah, I'm
those
talking about
people.
here. I wanted to
Screw
get.
those people. They know nothing. You know what I
That's
mean?
high for a Michael Bay movie. Like it's one of his first movies, I think, right?
Yeah, his second movie. He did his first movie was the year before with Bad Boys. And so
Uh,
he did Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor.
I have seen none of the only Michael Bay movie I've seen is Transformers, and I think
Now, early those first, well, the first three Michael Bay movies are the most Michael Bay movies, really. But they're still a bit restrained, because he's a new guy, and
Mhm.
so the studio was like, no, we're not going that nutty. But once like he demonstrated that his movies make money, they kind of were a little bit more hands off, and then all
Yeah,
of a sudden,
he exploded.
with the Age of Extinction Transformers movie, so. But anyways,
Yeah,
I recommend anybody and everybody go watch The Rock, especially you. And I'm gonna see if I can convince my wife to let us watch that.
yeah. And if you're up for it, I really do think you at least appreciate Disclosure Day more than the common folk.
Okay. All right. Well, sir, good talking to you again.
You too,
Pick,
Mister.
do yourself a favor, pick a school to go to for
I
crying
will.
out loud.
I
All
will.
right. And then we will pick this up again soon. All
Absolutely.
right, sir. You take it easy.
You too. See you.